Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into an incredibly fascinating medical case report by researchers Takuji Shirasawa and Luis Carlos Aguilar Cobos. It explores a potential game-changer in treating decompensated alcoholic liver cirrhosis. Seriously, this study might just flip everything we thought we knew about end-stage liver failure completely upside down.
Right off the bat, let's ask the massive question this case study tries to tackle. For decades, the medical consensus has been that once cirrhosis hits the decompensated stage, meaning the liver is severely scarred and totally failing, there's simply no going back. But what if highly targeted molecular-level therapy could actually hit the rewind button on a disease that affects millions of people worldwide?
Here is how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll look at the incurable reality of cirrhosis. Then, we'll introduce the cytokines promoting liver regeneration, dive into the cellular-level mechanism, map out the physical recovery process, and finally, look at the future of targeted therapies.
Let's start with Section 1, the incurable disease, cirrhosis. To really grasp how big of a breakthrough this is, we first have to understand the bleak, grim reality of end-stage liver failure.
This graphic right here brilliantly illustrates the microscopic war happening inside the liver. On one side, you have the destructive path of chronic alcohol exposure. It produces reactive oxygen species, sets off Kupffer cells which cause severe inflammation, and triggers stellate cells to dump excessive collagen, leading to irreversible scarring. But on the flip side, we have the protective pathway triggered by our targeted cytokine therapy, which actively fights back to suppress that inflammation and halt the fibrosis.
Now check out how dire the starting point was for the patient in this study. In November 2024, we're looking at a 63-year-old man suffering from total multi-organ failure. His liver couldn't clear toxins, causing repeated hepatic comas from high ammonia levels. He had massive fluid buildup in his abdomen and lungs, plus failing kidneys and a failing heart. And the absolute worst part? There was no suitable transplant donor available. He was basically out of conventional options.
Which brings us to Section 2, cytokines promoting liver regeneration. This is where we meet the microscopic heroes of our story.
You absolutely need to know about these two specific proteins, HGF and FGF21. Extracted from porcine tissues, these aren't just basic nutritional supplements. They are the dual molecular engines of this therapy. Think of them as highly targeted cellular messengers. FGF21 acts as a metabolic hormone that shuts down fat toxicity and inflammation, while HGF actually stimulates the liver cells to regenerate and actively suppresses the scarring process. They work together as a tag team to reboot liver repair from the inside out.
Let's move to Section 3, the cellular-level regeneration mechanism. We're zooming all the way in to see exactly how these messengers give targeted instructions on this microscopic battlefield. If we follow the FGF21 cascade step by step, it's pretty amazing. Step 1. The administered FGF21 binds to receptors right on the cell surface. Step 2. This acts like a key, unlocking and activating powerful intracellular pathways like STAT3 and ERK1 and 2. And Step 3, this is where the magic happens. These signals head straight to the nucleus, forcing dormant, damaged liver cells to wake up and start dividing. It literally forces them to replace dead tissue with fresh, functional liver cells.
But here's the catch. Building new cells isn't enough if the liver is still turning into scar tissue, right? That's where HGF comes in to act as a shield. HGF directly blocks a specific signal called TGF-beta. By shutting that down, it forces the stellate cells that produce all that excess collagen to stop. So while FGF21 is busy building new tissue, HGF is literally stopping the deadly cirrhotic scarring dead in its tracks.
All right, on to Section 4, physical function recovery process. We've seen the cellular mechanics, but let's look at the human miracle. How this played out step by step in the patient's actual body.
This timeline is nothing short of mind-blowing. In November 2024, the patient was in a hepatic coma when they started sublingual cytokine treatment. By February 2025, they added specific heart and lung cytokines to support his failing system. By August, the massive fluid buildup was completely gone and his brain waves were back to normal. Fast forward to April 2026, and this same patient is on maintenance therapy, actively playing golf and skiing. From a coma with 0 transplant options to hitting the slopes in under 18 months. Wow.
And the clinical data completely backs up his amazing lifestyle recovery. Look at these biomarkers. As the new liver started working and detoxifying, his sky-high ammonia levels dropped right back to normal. CA-125, a marker for severe disease, plummeted. Even his BMP levels decreased, proving his heart and lungs were recovering.
As the liver healed, it created a domino effect that reversed his multi-organ failure. Take a look at this specific number, 3.75 microvolts squared. This represents the synchronized P300 brainwave peak they measured by August 2025. Originally, toxic blood was reaching his brain, making his brainwaves slow and chaotic. This sharp, synchronized peak is hard, neurological proof that the neurogenesis cytokines fully reversed his hepatic coma and completely restored his brain function.
Finally, Section 5, the future of targeted therapies. What does this single, incredible case mean for the broader world of medicine?
Now, we have to stay objective here, just like the authors of the study. This is an astonishing success story, but it is still just one single patient. The underlying biology of HGF and FGF21 makes perfect sense, but a single case isn't definitive proof that this will work for everyone. To see if cytokine therapy can become a widespread standard for cirrhosis, conducting rigorous, placebo-controlled clinical trials across diverse patient groups is absolutely imperative. That's the crucial next step.
However, the researchers leave us with an incredibly powerful conclusion. They suggest that by using multi-organ extract therapies, combining targeted molecules like HGF and FGF21 that literally speak the cellular language of repair, we could establish a completely novel therapeutic paradigm. We are moving from just managing end-stage symptoms to actually giving the body the exact blueprints it needs to rebuild itself.
Which leaves us with a truly provocative thought. Once those clinical trials begin, are we standing on the edge of a future where diseases we've always considered a one-way street can actually be reversed from the inside out? If the clinical trials validate this success, the word incurable might just disappear from liver disease textbooks forever. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and keep questioning what's possible in medicine.